Okay, so we've got the engine out of the Subaru and the Subaru out of the shop to free up some space and let me think. Plenty of room to throw stuff around the shop now. If you're wondering what that is right behind the engine, you're gonna have to stay tuned for another episode. We've got another crotch rocket engine in ATV build. So yeah, if you're interested in that type of thing, definitely subscribe to my channel and check out some of my other crotch rocket quad and buggy builds. Back to the engine. So what I need to do is get in here to get the timing belt loose, but we also have this big intake that's taking up a lot of room on top of the head, so we want that off as well. So I'm going to actually work on getting this intake off first. Of course, we've got bad gaskets inside the valve covers, so that's causing us a little bit of a problem. Voila! Alright, now we want to stuff all four of those heads, precautionary, as a precautionary. Alright, let's see if this works. Broke it right loose. Crazy. Let's get the rest of the way if there isn't any more to go. Alright, just like that. Easy peasy. Alright, like so. Easy does it. So let's see. Head gaskets 1014. Head gaskets and timing belt 1014, so 5 years ago. Alright, so now's where I'm gonna time this up if possible. Alright, that's it right there. That is it. So, now that you've got, so basically there's a mark on the very top of your crank sprocket and a mark, an indent here. So that is TDC. And then you're gonna go over here. You'll see an arrow on the inside which points up to a slot on both sides. And then you'll also see this mark here. And I don't really know what that mark exactly means. You can see this is how the timing goes. There's a little mark right there on the front of the sprocket. You line that up with the line on the head here, which it's kind of faint, but it is there and it's straight up and down. Then you've got this line on the belt, this line on the belt, which needs to sit in the groove and line up with that line on the sprocket. And then if you look on the engine block right above that, there's a little teeny mark right there. So that all needs to line up, and then you come over to the final side. You're gonna have one more mark On the belt there, that yellow mark, you have the mark on the sprocket, and then as you can see in this little plastic thing, the plastic cover here, there's a little mark. Okay, my fear is in stripping one of these bolts, so I think what I remember that I did before was I went on this one right here, and I took it out really, really fast. So let's hope this works. So if you notice right there, I'll play it in slow motion. The timing on the passenger side head accidentally slips when the belt tension comes off, and I probably just nudge it ever so slightly without really meaning to, but if you can, try not to let that happen. It's not a big deal in my case, nothing got hurt, but you do have to get that to stay in the right spot when you're reassembling. So you'll have to spin that around and get it to line up again. Did it no harm. That's okay. Listening to this bearing, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Anyway, so let's make sure it did move. This one over here moved. Why did that move? That's not cool. Whatever, it moved. So we're gonna have to get that back where it belongs. Alright, belt off. We'll throw this back on there so we know where it came from. Okay, so when you're torquing him, it goes A, B, C, D, E, F. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep. And so now that we're undoing it, we're actually gonna go the opposite way from the outside in, I guess. All right, take two. There it goes. All right. All right, side number two. Let's see if I can quick pull this off before my battery dies. It'll be a miracle. All right, look at that, Felpro gaskets. Don't get Felpro gaskets. All right, that's it. We're taking the heads. We're gonna clean the heads a little bit and take them up to the machine shop, get them checked out, order parts. Okay, so I'm just getting out. There's this first one. This one is the lipped one down here. And then this one is the cogged piece. Okay, we've also got the tensioner, the new Subaru belt, and these are all genuine Subaru parts, by the way. Of course, this one's not as nice as I'd like to see. We've got head gaskets, all this stuff, new water pump, head bolts. So let's blast these guys on there. It is the same teeth and size, but as you can see, they changed the color. It's got the same numbers on it to a T, but I do not see yeah, as many, there's definitely not as many marks on this one as there is the old one either. So it is different a little bit. It's okay, I guess, as long as it works. All right, there's the cooked water pump. Here is the old gas spool. I'm not sure, it looks like this is supposed to be here, and it doesn't want to sit there. So let's carefully see if we can't get that off. Not sure what's up. It looks like it's the cast propeller and not the billet one, which, as far as I know, there were some people saying there was an upgraded version of that impeller there that obviously I guess I probably don't have. That doesn't look that great to me. Nothing special. Darn it, they started cheaping out after they got a good rep or something. Realized they could cut corners. Okay guys, we're about to put the heads back on. We've got our fresh head gaskets here, genuines. There's the part number for you. And then it's important when it comes to the bolts. Now, I think you can get away without replacing them a lot of times. But I know for a fact that these were done by like some shop and they didn't last that crazy long. And it was pretty clear that they probably might have reused old bolts again. So we're gonna go ahead and use new bolts. And so you'll see that there's 4 bolts in this package. There's the part number. And those are for the centers, the center out of the 6 on each head. There's the center 2 have black heads, and then the other 8 bolts that you'll need for the outside bolts. There's the part number for you. And so that's important. That's an important detail because they get different torque on those. So we've also got some other gaskets. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up here, and we'll go ahead and get those heads back on. Okay, I got the pistons pretty clean, about as clean as I can get them. This side too. Gasket surfaces all cleaned. Obviously I got my heads machined already and cleaned up. So it's time to put them on. What's up with her? There she is. All right. We're gonna get this thing hunkered down. Make sure we're all good. I like to run these in and out a few times to get all the oil coating all up in there. Those all went in really nice. So now let's get the torque wrench out. Okay, so I hope you can read this, but this is on nasioc.com. This is just an online form that is for Subarus, and this guy has the torque specs. This is what I followed. There's all kinds of specs there at the top for different things that we've already done. And so he's got the loosened head bolts in this order, tighten head bolts in that order, and this is the procedure. All bolts to 22 foot-pounds, and then all bolts to 51 foot-pounds. Loosen all 180 degrees, loosen all another 180 degrees. Torque the center two bolts to 25 and the outer four. So those center two are the ones with the black heads again on each head. So the black head bolts get 25 foot-pounds. The outer ones that'll just be silver get 11 foot-pounds. And then we'll tighten all 90 degrees and then tighten all 90 degrees again. Like he says, put lube between the bolts and washers, and then on the threads as well, or some anti-seize on the threads. So these are the specs, and you can either have a special torque wrench that will read the degrees, or you can not have super fancy tools like me and just go ahead and use a paint marker and make a mark on the top of the bolt and keep track of the degrees, which I recommend making a mark on them anyways. That way you don't accidentally miss one. They'll all be lining up the same way, and you can look at the lines on the top of the heads, the top of the bolts of the heads that you make, and they should all be facing the proper way when you're done, and that's how you know that you didn't miss anything. So that helps out a little bit. Anyways, back to the procedure. You can watch me do it now. Torque sequence. This one's got to come out. It's already making a little bit of noise. Can't have them making noise like that. Oh. Alrighty then, back to where I was. So I just start over when if they start making noise. Sometimes they're just gonna be squeaky. But I find either anti-seize or looking down the hole to see what's down there. I need those threads to be well oiled, so if that means in and out a couple times like that to get it to go, we'll see right here. So I'm afraid it's just a squeaky one. We've just met a squeaky one, that's all. Not much we can do about that. We'll come back to the beginning. Yep. Alright. Next. Okay, that first one was to 25 or wait, 22 foot-pounds. Now we're going to 51 foot-pounds. Make sure I'm correct here. I don't want to do this wrong. Tighten all bolts to 22 foot-pounds, then tighten all bolts to 51 foot-pounds. Okay. I want to twist a bolt that I know is going to be tight. Is at 51 foot-pounds. Okay, it's working. I feel like I'm going to knock the camera over on accident. Two, A, B, C. D. E. I like that one. One full motion. That's how I like to do it. Didn't get it on that one. This was the creaky one. E. Don't like that. Ooh. I hate when that happens. Sorry about that, I had to switch memory cards. Okay, so now it says back them off and 180 degrees and then back them all off another 180. Centers to 25, outers to 11. C, D, E, ow, and F. Pink marker and loosen them. I don't even think I really need to do this, honestly, but it helps me get the first 180, I guess, so. Now let's go in this sequence that they keep talking about to loosen stuff. Loosening sequence is just, we're actually going to erase the old one. That wasn't cool. We're good. Now, we're going to go straight up and down. Okay, 90 and then another 90. That's the order. Alrighty. And 90. And then one more 90. Last 90. Okay, that's one side done. On to the other. Make sure to release the tension on your torque wrench when you store them away. Job well done, boys and gals. We got the heads on. So next step is I will oil up the valve train nicely. I'll get the timing right and I'll put the belt to it. And we'll release the pin on the tensioner, on the new tensioner. Okay, I managed to get a little bit more done last night when the camera battery died, but not much. Mostly just plugging things in and getting things, making sure they're routed correctly. I've still got quite a bit to do before this engine's ready to get back in there, and I'm going to keep chipping away at it. I realized that one of the radiator fans is broken, and that will not be here till next Wednesday. It's currently Saturday, so I have a few days to get this thing finished and put back in, and I'm not in a big rush. But yeah, so let's continue on. I'm going to get the valve covers on now, I suppose, which will require the new gaskets. This is the only thing on the whole car that I've gotten that's aftermarket, and why that is because I couldn't really find a Subaru genuine one, and I figured it's one part that I can get to pretty, not too bad at least, I think, even with it on the car, and go ahead and swap these out if I need to later. But I think that these gaskets should be good for hopefully at least 50,000 miles. Okay, I'm about ready to do the timing. I'm going to pull the spark plugs. We got new ones going in. We're opting for some NGK iridiums. So I want to go back just a little. I want to see where it was. It was right about there. And this came over like that. Man, that thing's got a lot of force behind it when it jumps around like that. Ooh. Man, that thing's scary. Just jumps around like crazy. So, can't go any further that way. You gotta be careful doing this, I swear. You can mess stuff up. So, I don't know where I gotta go, but I need to get this engine timed up, and it's not right now, which is a big problem. I don't know why this is so loose. Need a different one. And it feels solid. I know I got one that feels better than that. It's got to. Alright, we have it timed right there. Go hair back. Right there's timing. And for this, timing is right there. Alright, we've got it all timed up. So carefully set the belt on there. Here to here to here, to here, to here. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Again, this was the engine rebuilding portion of the video. The next part's going to be the engine going back into the car and getting finished up. So stay tuned for the next part. If you need parts for your Subaru, all the parts that I ordered are in the description. You can actually get them all on Amazon with Amazon Prime 2-day shipping and have the parts there immediately, for most of the stuff at least. And actually saved a lot of money over going to the dealership, and they're all Subaru genuine parts from a Subaru dealer, so that works out really well. It was actually faster than going to the dealership too, because a lot of the parts they had to order and they were 3 and sometimes 5 days out on ordering those, and that was business days. So yeah, definitely subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. You guys are making this content happen, so thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for the final part, and take care. See ya.